Today we're out here with my good friend Mike. We're driving his SS1LE 2023, 455 horsepower. This is the 2SS package. So it's got all the tech, the heated, ventilated seats, the Bose sound system, everything you want. About 52, 53 grand MSRP on this. Massive Brembo brakes, 285s up front, 305s in the rear. Goodyear Eagle SuperCar 3 tires.
Very sticky.
Grip 4 days. Haven't driven an SS1LE in quite a while.
Yeah.
Been in a lot of ZL1s. Almost pulled the trigger on one of these last year instead of the BRZ, but decided to go back to something
and
half
I
the price.
A BRZ,
you just had a BRZ.
and I sold it for that, which was also blue.
Yes.
So this is a little bit of a departure. Makes roughly double the horsepower.
Yep. It's twice the car.
It is
in every way.
In every possible way, it's twice the car. It has twice as much Brembo brake.
Yep.
It has twice as many cylinders and twice as much horsepower, and probably 3 times as much torque. It is 1,000 pounds heavier than the BRZ, and it is a little bit noticeable. Obviously, much more comfortable as a result. The 1LE package is really what's worth mentioning. $7,000. It gets you these beautiful RECARO seats. If you're willing to spring for the 2SS, they're heated and cooled, and the 1SS, they're just these RECAROs.
They get a little swampy without the ventilation.
Yeah, they're very comfortable. You also get magnetic ride control, performance traction management modes. You get the specific wheel set that comes with this car. The Brembos, the 6s and the 4s, Brembos, so you got 20 pistons, Brembo brakes. Pretty much all the car you need right out of the factory. There is nothing, people keep saying, what are you going to do to it to modify it? And the answer is nothing.
It doesn't need anything.
Maybe an intake. Maybe
and they've sorted it all because they've been making it for a decade.
Very hard to break. There are people that pound on these things on the track nonstop, and I joyfully use it as my commuter car, which is just great. So
it's fantastic. All right, let's go drive it.
Let's go take a spin.
Yeah, so cool, man. Yeah, our mutual friend Kyle bought one of these. I was very, very close to pulling the trigger. Could have been 3 of us.
Yeah, his is Rapid Blue, mine's Riverside Blue.
Yeah,
there isn't a third. There isn't a third blue for you though.
No.
So I don't know. There's only 2 blue colors. So, yeah, CarPlay, wireless CarPlay at that. Did the little RAM mount, magnetic RAM mount for the phone.
I love the simplicity of this interior. Yeah, and you've got the digital rearview mirror so that if you can't see out of the rear of the car, which let's see how that looks. It's not the best view, but this is perfect. That's all you need.
It works.
Yeah. Back seats.
Back seats are functional. I find if I move my seat, to a little bit close on the driver's side, it works.
Yep.
You also get Alcantara wheel with 1LE.
Alcantara is so nice.
You get the shift knob as well, the 1LE shift knob.
And you drove this in the winter too.
Yeah, I have a set of snows for it. And it's great in the snow. It's really easy to drive. That's probably the first thing I'll say. My spouse drives it. She'll comment how comfortable it is.
And I like how the skip shift is just a suggestion instead of a force.
This is the last of the dinosaurs, right? This is the last naturally aspirated manual car I think that GM makes at this point.
Yeah.
You can still get a Blackwing, but those are of course forced induction. Same with the ZL1.
How many miles you got on this?
About 10,000.
That's pretty good.
No lift to shift.
Yeah.
If you're at 100% throttle above 5,000 RPM, it will allow you to no lift shift. Active Rev Match on the way down, so you don't have to worry about catching the throttle.
It sounds so gnarly.
Yeah, it's got a lot of the crackle and pop. You're in 2-ring mode right now.
Okay.
Which is the tamest of the modes. It's the most comfortable mode.
We can go into...
we got snow and ice, which is more of a diff setting thing. Track, and then sport. Track, you're going to notice much heavier steering. The throttle's completely linear. The pedal is 100% linear in track mode.
Yep, that's what you want.
Which is really nice. And then it just really picks up the exhaust.
This exhaust is insane from the factory.
And it's the valve exhaust. That's another 1LE feature. If you're going to spend that extra $7 grand, it is worth it.
Steering wheel is the perfect size. Driving position's amazing. the right thickness, flat bottom so you can get in and out easily. This is awesome, man.
Yeah, it is. It's the best daily driver I've ever had, which sounds really crazy to say that, but in terms of the performance level, it's way up there. There are some things that I could absolutely complain about. Obviously, some of the interior materials aren't perhaps the world's greatest. You know, this car, the entry-level spec is a much cheaper car. The entry-level spec, right?
Sure. Yeah, I mean, there's you know, some hard, cheap plastics all around that have always been here.
And it's no surprise. The cool thing I like about it is where you sit is great, what you touch is great, and that's what really matters. And I think that's what, you know, makes it a really fun sports car across the board. But
this is awesome.
I do also appreciate physical buttons for your HVAC controls.
Yeah.
This control here is super slick.
You see the new Mustang?
Adjust, you know,
all screen.
All screen. And you know, something that I really like about the screen, though it's canted in a weird angle here, when you take your hand and you rest it on it,
oh yeah,
you can still, you have something to grab onto.
That's right.
And that means it's really easy to hit your screen buttons. When you're in a car that's just screen and you're on Michigan roads, you're always kind of playing.
I think they made it this angle to reduce reflections.
Glare.
Right?
Yeah,
glare. Okay.
I still think it's kind of in a dumb spot.
It's weird, but that's okay. It's right here. It's all within quick reach.
And it doesn't really affect your view of it at all from the driving position in it. Yeah, what else to say about it? It does decent on gas. I do mostly highway driving at higher speed. I get about 22 miles a gallon combined.
That's pretty good.
Premium fuel.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
If you're really nice to it, and maybe you live in a state where the highway speed limits aren't 75, I wouldn't be shocked if you could turn in 24 or 5 miles a gallon in it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be shocked at all, especially if you were being a little nicer to it and kind of going easy. It does
Premium
have
fuel.
Premium fuel. It does have forward collision avoidance. The 2SS does have that.
Okay.
But it's a warning. It doesn't do anything. There's no intervention. And when it goes off, the whole HUD, which the 1LE has the HUD will actually flash red at you.
Okay. You get any vibrations or haptic stuff going on?
It'll scream at you a little bit, and then you'll get that as well, the color change. But that's it. So it's not. It's not uber intrusive, which I appreciate. It still really is. Hey, I'm warning you about something.
Sure.
But like, I'm not gonna take control of the steering. I'm not gonna auto brake for you.
Yeah, it can't because it's manual.
Right. Well, I have to say, I was in a Subaru recently in the eyesight system. I would refuse to buy one.
Oh my gosh, it's
it was terrible.
Miserable. It's gotten slightly better recently, but some of the first gen eyesights are just so bad.
I'd suggest second gear here.
Oh yeah. Beautiful, man.
Several triple digits will sneak up very quickly if you're not careful.
Yeah, it's fast.
And the mag ride, it's so composed, which I think is really cool. We're not going to go Thelma and Louise.
Yeah, we won't.
Nice backup camera.
Yeah.
Good high definition, good color to it.
I love the steering.
Of course, has the valve exhaust. You can set it to the stealth mode.
Yeah, you can set exhaust, suspension, steering.
All independent of what mode you're in, which
That's
I
right.
really like.
That's awesome.
That's something that's locked out in a lot of OEMs these days. I think BMW is the most notorious offender on that.
Traction control works great. You've got a bunch of different settings. So you're in track mode, you hit traction off.
Twice.
And then you can choose between, oh, hold on. It's a process.
You need to go to track.
Track.
And then...
You double press it fast?
Yep. Try again. 2.
There we go. Competitive mode. And then you can select... Nope.
Broke it. Just kidding. Normally this is easy. There we go.
Yeah, there it is.
So you have a dry, a wet, a sport 1, a sport 2, and a race. Obviously, race is full off. The further you get down that menu, the more aggressive it gets.
Yep. And then you can just sit stationary and hold it too.
Correct.
That's awesome.
So it'll stay in that mode till you turn the traction control back on. I'm trying to think if I have any complaints. The seats don't recline very far. This is about right here where we're sitting. This is it. The seat does not recline any further than this.
Yeah. I'm at the back of the rails right now, or back of that limit.
The limit for recline.
Yeah, but it's comfortable. I mean, this is about where I'd want it anyway.
Yep.
But if you're like sitting at a restaurant on a road trip and you want to take a nap,
you're
not going to happen.
Significant other sit in the passenger seat, and it's just not. You can't fall asleep sitting like this, really. So that's probably a complaint.
I don't know why they did that. It's weird.
I don't know if it's just these are RECAROs. I don't know if it's something that has to do with the internal mechanics of the seat, maybe the cooling ducts or something like that. But
yeah, who knows?
I don't know. Obviously, the accent lighting on the 2SS changes depending on what mode you're in.
Yeah.
You can set it to match your drive mode, which is super fun. You know, sometimes it's the chintzy stuff that is very eye-catching to people.
Sure. That's good for the POV thumbnail. Also, just besides its performance, just one of the most enjoyable cars to just drive around in. Regular traffic, regular commuting.
Very eye-catching car.
Yeah.
I get a lot of comments about it. I swear every time I stop and fill up with gas, someone's poking their head around the gas pump. What year is that? You know? Like it's
and
really
they
cool.
finally sorted out the front bumper.
Yes.
In a way that it actually looks pretty good.
Yeah, I believe this is 2020 that looked like it had been driven into a dump truck.
Yeah, oh my gosh, it's terrible. No one wants to buy those.
I'm sure like in 40 years, like we'll be watching the the auction, and it'll be like uber rare.
1 year only.
1 year only
exactly.
front bumper, but in the meantime, it's still terribly ugly.
That's funny.
But yeah, you can option the automatic. The 10-speed auto in these cars is great. I cannot knock that at all. Super quick. The fastest ones I've seen on track are the 10 speeds.
Yeah, that's the way it is. And this brake pedal is so firm.
It's a little hard to find the bottom of sometimes, to be honest with you.
No, there's a lot of...
Which is nice.
A lot of brake here. What a beast.
We'll get it out on track. We'll have you take a spin in it on track.
That'd be great. Yeah.
And yeah, they're a lot of fun.
This is just a big Miata.
Right, that's what I tell myself until you look down and you're going 115. And you're like,
yeah, Waterfree can get a little scary.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe go out to M1 sometime.
And this is very much a car that it's everyone that has driven it, particularly if you like drive it on the highway, you'll look down and you'll be going 90 or 100.
Yeah.
And it'll be like, oh. When did that happen?
It just settles down so beautifely.
And it's got a little bit of aero to it.
It's
Obviously,
quiet.
you have front brake ducting.
Yeah.
A big front splitter. You got the tail splitter. It's not a ZL1 1LE. I had a really serious conversation about potentially buying a ZL1 1LE. The thing is, that is just not a car you can drive every day. It is too far on the spectrum of race car. The supplemental.
This is the perfect balance.
Yeah.
Of everything. Of power. It's usable. You can floor it in this car and not scare the daylights out of yourself. And the SS1LE, for a second, I drove a couple SS1LEs that just were mind-blowingly good. Like they had all the inputs right. Everything was perfect. Everything was how I wanted it. And then I drove a kind of a rougher SS1LE that was used. And I was like, this isn't quite what I wanted or what I remember it being. But this feels perfect. And it's got 10,000 miles on it.
Yeah. And I'm not really nice to it.
Sure.
So,
what's left here?
It's going to take you to a dirt road, so you're probably going to want to...
We'll just park it here.
Yeah, or you can drive it home.
Oh, yeah. All right. Let's turn around.
180.
Yep.
Pretty sure the pizza guy behind us just thought you were sending it.
Yeah.
These tires just pick up everything.
Oh, yeah.
It does not have a full-size spare. It is something, I have a longer highway commute that I'm very cognizant of. I carry a patch kit and a compressor.
Can you get a spare from like a different Camaro and throw it on a rear or something?
I don't know. I suppose maybe the V6, you know, or the 4-cylinder has a spare.
Yeah.
But
What's the bolt pattern?
5x120.
Oh, you can use a Type R spare.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. So if we ever go on a road trip together, you'll be covered.
There we go.
Yeah.
And we've talked about this a little bit too, and this is a comment that I'll make. You know, price point wise, these are at the end of their run. Obviously, you know, there's going to be a 24, but they're done supposedly I think January building them.
Yeah. There's that last edition.
I
with
think
different
there's
painting.
going to be a final. It'll be something silly, I'm sure. Lead times are long for these. They're very parts intensive. They have a lot of supplier parts, and they're not easy to find. I actually ordered one around Thanksgiving of last year. I found this one for sale in February. I called the dealer. Hey, sorry, buddy, someone's coming tomorrow to pick it up. They ordered it. I said, okay, well, take my number and call me back if something happens. Well, the guy airballed his financing. From the time he had ordered it to the time that he was going to go pick it up, which it probably was almost a year, rates had gone from 2% to 7%.
Yep.
And suddenly he couldn't get financed. And so the guy at the dealer calls me and says, you have 30 seconds to give me your credit card number, or I'm calling one of the next 6 people in line for the car. And I said, done.
Yep.
So I'll be there tomorrow.
That's how I got my VRZ pretty much.
Sold.
Yeah.
And
That's
the
awesome.
only thing I didn't get, I optioned red seat belts.
Oh,
That's the only thing I didn't get.
Yeah.
So instead I got the gray seat
Not a
belts.
huge deal.
But, oh no, it's the end of the world.
Yeah.
Give it back. So it worked out really well. I was told minimum probably 8-month lead time
Yeah.
to get one. So get one while you can.
You can still order them.
You can still order them. There's no guarantee they'll build it, but you can still order them.
Yeah. Or you can just pick up a Pavement Princess someday, which is probably what I'll do.
Yeah, nice used one. It's just so satisfying.
It's so good, man. Your inputs are just all perfect. All right, that's probably enough of driving up and down the same road.
Yeah, before we get arrested.
Exactly.
Gosh, we're gonna be out here in a few minutes. I think it's totally missed in the market because, you know, the first generation Camaro was meh, the 5th gen, right?
Yep.
And then the 6th gen had some teething to get through, and now you're at the end of the run, and I think people miss a little bit of the, you know, the value proposition, so to speak, of this compared to other stuff. I mean, you want to go wait in line for a GR Corolla and get a
Oh my gosh, pay over MSRP
awesome,
for that.
super cool car. I love them. They're amazing to drive. You know, pay $48,000 for a 3-cylinder hatchback. You know, okay, you know, that's really cool and everything, and it's a great car, and if you need all-wheel drive or you need a hatch, I get it. But man, for this, that's what I got.
Yep.
Cool.
That's really good. Sweet. Well, thanks, man. This was a pleasure.
Anytime.
Yeah, just another reminder of, maybe I should have bought this instead of the VRZ.
Yeah, the back seat's bigger.
Yeah.
You know, so, all right, thanks.
Cool. All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed that. See you later.
That's it.
Sweet.
That's a wrap.